Welcome everybody, welcome back. We have been away for 2 weeks and we're back from Italy. The World Championship for old people. I'm not old yet. We still have a little time left. Alright, let's see who's online. And again, this is our first stream for 2 weeks. I can't believe I've not taken that much time off, maybe ever. So it was weird. Weird to not stream. What's up, everybody? Let's start it here with a puzzle. Puzzle me, the Riddler. I should be pretty sharp, but I don't like playing chess in the morning. My ALO can speak to that. Gita B. Good old Gita B. Faithful follower. Thanks for being the first here this morning. I think everybody else doesn't know I'm back. I didn't make any announcement, when my next stream would be necessarily, so even Astrobai's not here. Bishop takes f7, it looks like the only candidate move I'm seeing. I don't really see what else you can do. I mean, Bishop takes f7, though there's no direct threat with that move. Nobody here but us Huskies. What's up, Husky? Husky 96. We are back from our trip. Good to see you. I'm just not used to chessing in the morning anymore. I realize how much better I am really at playing chess in the afternoon than in the morning. I think was evident in my results this year. But we'll do the best we can. Takes me longer than most people to wake up. Husky96, good to see you. Thanks for subscribing. Resubscribing for 9 months. Puzzles, I'm not very good at puzzles. This kind of Lichess puzzles anyway. But I just don't really see any threats here. There's no way we can attack his queen with anything, so the king is the only target. None of black's other pieces are undefended. Maybe there's some quiet way of attacking with queen f3, but it's a strange so-called puzzle. When I can't come up with a better move than bishop takes f7, or a creeping move like queen f3, which really doesn't look like it does anything. Maybe, no, it's just this is a very weird position. I don't see anything clear. Pushing the pawn maybe to hit c7. To create this massive passed pawn. Black could even trade queens with queen d6, but then our protected passed pawn would be so strong we're probably winning. But let's say you push the pawn, he takes. Nope, I got it wrong. Good morning! Alright, let's just play some chess. Yeah, we'll try to get the puzzles on in another lifetime. Alright. Oh, Huskies score. Just 1, 2, 3, 40. Very rare that he loses. Alright. Just waking up, as I said. What do you want to do? I do feel that streaming rapid games has been useful in terms of playing in situations where I'm in time pressure. In the long games, I'm pretty comfortable, let's say. Like my last game against Danielson in the World Senior, I just I was down to my increments, and I was still pretty collected. I didn't play any games with e4 interestingly. Though I had been open to the idea. I noticed something, and I don't know, Husky, you're here. I don't know who else is here, but Gita B. What I've noticed is that people seem to have more defenses against e4 than they do against like d4. Is this something that other people have noticed? When I'll go to like prepare for someone, I get the feeling like everyone has like 5 different openings that they can play against e4, but against d4 they only have like 1 or 2. It seems to be the case. The King's Indian attack, or whatever this is, a Tory attack reverse, is not very exciting at first, but yeah, I mean, I was like, look, I don't mind, I like playing e4, I love playing e4, but my knowledge of e4 is not as good. And every time I like go to look to play someone, maybe I'll play e4 against this player, it's like they play the Aleakin, they play the Pirch, they play the Scandinavian, they play the Karolka, they have like 4 or 5 different openings that they play, and they're like more limited against d4. So it's easier to it's easier to prepare. E4 is just like wide open. I mean, they can play anything. There's so many openings. It feels like e6 is very reserved. Normally, black plays like knight bd7 and goes for e5 in one move. But objectively, I don't think anything's wrong with e6. It's like a more conservative way of playing. But Husky you play Karo Khan, so I think the structure is natural. If I play g4 and knight h4, it's definitely possible, but I weaken my king side quite a bit here. There's another possibility of like c4. Probably not bad here necessarily, but I don't really like, this sort of takes on c4 structure. White doesn't have any kind of dynamics there. So, we can play something a little bit more reserved. Like a red T. Nobody knows I'm streaming, so we may be here alone with Husky and Gita B for the first half an hour of the stream. When Astrobate isn't here, the stream's in trouble. Alright. Bishop d6. Now, the nice thing about that is that his diagonal is open. You haven't played e5, but there's not much there, Essentially, I'm playing the King's Indian, and you've put your bishop on d3, attacking this rock pawn. So nothing scary. Kramnik would occasionally play this style with white. Kind of miss Kramnik, chessically speaking. Though he lost against James Tarjan, one of his last tournaments. I remember in Gibraltar. No, it was in Isle of Man. Kramnik lost this type of thing with white. Now, I mean, g4, bishop g6, knight h4, you can do it. But honestly, I'd be more apt to do it if the pawn was on e5 for black here. We're thinking strategically. I've got to do like a lecture with a company that is training their employees. A couple lectures with a company that's training their employees about strategic thinking coming up this week. And I mean, that's the nice thing about playing long chess. You have more time to really conceptualize stuff like strategically. In Rapid Blitz it's hard. In Blitz it's impossible almost. But I like talking about the games, and let's think about this. Do I want to go c4, or do I want to just play like e3, queen e2? You can still play e5 at some point. All right, this is a true Ray T now. With a c4. We'll keep g4 in reserve. You know, say he plays e5. I think the g4 becomes a lot more like realistic there, where this diagonal isn't really weak. I've been playing the ready like forever, since 1980s. Yeah, see, now I can do g4. I thought I could do g4, but maybe not. Let's calculate. g4, bishop g6, knight h4, knight takes g4, knight takes g6. Yeah, it's close. g4. You also might consider exchanging on d5. I'm not I'm not sure there's any disadvantage in it necessarily. I am trading my c4 pawn for his c6 pawn. So knight h4, knight g4? Can you really do that? Knight takes g6, pawn takes g6, pawn takes g4. Yeah, I don't quite buy that. Color complexes. You know, we're looking at lack of ability to compensate for, yeah, nice diagonal. Lack of ability to compensate on the light squares for black. I've started thinking a lot more in terms of color complexes since I started to teach chess full time. It's changed my way of thinking about the game. Oh my god, man. You need help. Knight takes e5. I gotta give Uber Driver credit, but it's too early in the morning for that. That would require calculation. No, I mean, like, knight e5, let's just say you do knight e5. I don't know, man. There's just too many possibilities. Our king is really open. Knight e5, f4, knight g4, pawn g4, knight g4, threatening queen h4. I don't know, you know, I mean, it looks really risky. But, I mean, you know, good point. Nice to see you, Uber Chess. You are the Uber driver, right? I'm assuming you're Uber driver. But you might not be. Maybe it's just someone else who's Uber Chess. B. Jack, good morning. Yeah, 13's lucky. I was really close to winning in the last round. But on the other hand, I should have lost. So I'll take it. Well, I mean, okay. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta consider f takes, right? With the f file, but the d5 is too weak. So this is our plan, I guess, to play e3. This is a little soft. Thanks, guys, for following along my tournament in the Old People's Championship. Yeah, it's not easy. Not easy. You know, you've got players who are between the ages of 49 and like 60, 64. These people are not that old and are still capable of really high-level chess. So it's not an easy tournament to win. I think if I play every year, you know, I have a chance to win one. But definitely a tough tournament. Really tough to win it. Starua has won for the second time. He won back in 2014 the first time. He's like not that old. He was the first seed and he won the tournament, and that's weird, you know. In both the 50 group and the 65 group, okay, Nunn was like a massive favorite, but he didn't win by a big margin, and he lost one game to Christiansen, who's amazing. Yeah, none was a massive favorite, but I mean, it's interesting that the top seed won in both cases. Not so easy to do that. Our group was much more competitive. There weren't so many strong players in the 65 group, but the 50 group was, you know, 25 plus really dangerous players. Not easy. Yeah, so Husky just plays very solid. Should I say solidly? Plays very solidly. Women's champ won. Hope she won the lawsuit or got a settlement. Oh man, Nona. Yeah, Nona was there. I don't think her health is good. I mean, she was like coughing all the time. I hope she doesn't have like COVID. But she was like, she didn't look like she's in good shape. But she played fairly well in the beginning. I'm not sure how her health is. But I think the the legal thing was a settlement. I mean, they probably got some money from Netflix. Yeah. We've been through that conversation already. Okay, I'm getting low on time here. So, yeah, I didn't ask Nona about her lawsuit. Okay. Yeah, it's not polite to ask people about how their lawsuit's going. How's your lawsuit going this week? A very, very solid play by Black. So, watch out. We had a very interesting situation in my group with the women's prize. Two women were like within half a tie-break. They were like within half a Buchholz. So it basically came down to like who's one of your opponents like wins or loses in the last round determines like who wins the prize. It's really kind of exciting and just a matter of luck at that point. That was crazy. They got like two prizes. One of them, Elvira won two prizes for women and for she got 14th place in the men's or main prizes and she won the top woman. It's pretty cool to get double prizes. All right, knight b6. Now we're playing chess. Position is equal. Yeah, Elvira, she's married to a nice guy, Fred Berend from Luxembourg, but I don't know what her maiden name was. I was ashamed to ask, but I think there was a player named Sakatova. I'm wondering if it was her. That was her pre-married name. Uh-oh. Watch the king's side. This guy's, he's out to get me. You can't mate me, by the way, with no light square bishop. Yeah, he learned from Uber Driver. He learned from the best. How to play for cheap threats. Quick. No, I don't know. Mistress of the Dark. I forget who even I've played before. There could be like, I'm at the point where I might have played someone and I don't even remember anymore. Dude, I don't know. Queen A1 was like one of the worst ideas that Reddy ever came up with, honestly. My experience is like Queen A1 is almost never good. It's the dumbest place to put your queen in the history of chess. One time, man, what was it? Oh, Shuba has a game in his book, Dynamic Chess Strategy, where he beat Miles. Miles tried to do it. He like artificially like puts his queen on a1. He did like rook a2 and queen a1. Yeah, that's like chess pop culture. Wow, knight f3. Now what do I do? I'm getting so close. See how better the queen is? How much better it is on c3? Why do you want it on a1? You're just a sucker for pop chess culture. Uber driver. What happened to your old account? It got deleted for too much trolling or something? Nylon Mask hasn't let you reestablish your account? Mm. Your streaming channel and games. Wow. Using the shit out of me here. He had e4 there. Pays your money and he takes your choice. I don't know, maybe I should keep my light square bishop. Objectively. Yeah, I mean, is this automatically winning because I'm up a pawn? I don't know. I mean, generally speaking, I think minor piece endings where you have like knight and bishop versus knight and bishop, same color, are pretty unforgiving. You know, knight endings also. The f pawn feels like backwards. He's a quick one. Mr. Grinch. I don't know, is this a good exchange? Am I winning? What if I pre-move and he like hangs his knight? That would be embarrassing. I lose a piece. Yeah, this is not so easy. Complex bishop ending. My bishop is bad. Mama floor. I guess this is a bad move, huh? Why do I make all the bad moves? How do I come up with such stupid ideas? I did that? Yeah, I'm not gonna win, it looks like. We're gonna need a trick of some sort. It's a tricky ending. I mean, for both of us to play with like no time. Nice. I don't know. I don't know. I felt like with your king position, maybe black isn't lost. All right, that was a real game. It felt like I'm still playing classical chess. That was epic. 48 moves. But I assume at some point like you're okay probably. Gabri Gabro and Zumaher. All right, Gabri Gabro from Italy. I just came from Italy. World Senior, but I will take the subscriber challenges first. So Gabri Gabro will wait until after first we play Zumaher. Zumaher, are you still a subscriber? Uber, are you still a subscriber on your other account? Thanks for the game. Yeah, tough game. You didn't have to lose a pawn. When I play knight f3, you have e4. It's still not clear. You were not okay? Okay, but maybe if we go back to e4, you know, when I play knight f3, you missed e4. I lost with my accelerated Queen's Indian against Bischoff, but it wasn't because of the opening. I got a good opening. I was fine, and I had like double blundered. No, I had a bad game where I double blundered, but I can't blame it on the opening. Yeah, he's just not challenging it. Alright, whatever. We'll just transpose to a kind of another ready with black. e4 is +3. Wow. I couldn't calculate that far. It was like e4, knight takes g5, e takes d3. I was looking at that position. You're not down a pawn? I'm not sure. Yeah, no, if I play bishop e4, he's just going to play queen c2 and play a modified classical variation. He likes that. So I don't want to like do something that makes him feel, you know, like he knows what he's doing. I know the opponent, you know, so I know how much he likes to play like queen c2. But yeah, bishop e4 is fine. Of course you can play it. I don't know what's up with me. Alright, but we were healthy. Very few people were sick. You know, COVID is out there like lurking around, but you know, for mid-November, late November, I have to say like there wasn't like millions of people like sneezing and sick like you would think. But I guess these seniors they're more careful about their health than like kids and stuff. You go to a tournament with a lot of kids, they're all like sneezing and snorting and like, you know, blowing germs everywhere. Alright, now we do like c5, knight a6, and this is a line that I recommended. It's already in reverse. A line I recommended for my course on the Blumenfeld Gambit. But in reality, that's exactly what it is. I don't have to play knight a6, actually. It's probably not even the best square. But I have to play something. So if queen e7, we should be fine. Yeah, I have too much respect for bishops. Too much respect for bishops. I don't know if you saw my game against Darcy Lima, but man, that was crazy. He played the line that I've played, and I've lost, like, I played it a lot on the stream, and I've lost, I lost to 2200s with black. And then he plays it against me, and I don't know how to, like, you know, beat myself. Bishop takes, you know, bishop gives up for knight early on. I have this bishop on c1. It determines the fate of the game, basically. Yeah, it's missing the key part of the game. Exactly. Yeah, well, it all turned around. Like, that was how the whole thing happened. He ended up playing g5 on the king side. All of his pawns are on dark squares. So I have literally a dark square bishop on c1 with white that never moves. And my opponent has a7, b6, c5, d6, e5, no f pawn, and then g5 and h6. So every single pawn on the board for black is on a dark square. And my dark square bishop is my only minor piece, and it's sitting there on c1. But, you know, it's not like it's a minor piece ending where I can get my bishop, like, how could I get my bishop in there, right? So what happened was, after move 30, somewhere around move 30, right before the second time control, he lets his guard down, and he lets me play, like, g4. I fix the pawn on g5, and then I lever it with h4. And I, like, set up this kind of fixing this, like, pawn on g5, man. I destroyed him. I just did, like, g4, h4, and then isolated his g5 pawn by exchanging on g5, and then I just infiltrated down the h file, and he was just dead. He got checkmated. Plus his the problem was his g5 pawn was just under attack. So it was over, like, very quickly. Of course, he didn't have to let that happen. I was willing to take a draw, you know. He had the middle game advantage. Yeah, but I don't know. I guess the operator for the board coverage just, like, left or something. I don't... The game just dropped out after move 30, and that was the best part of the game. And that was, like, my best game. I mean, in a way. Because I was just holding. I'm going to take a draw. I take a draw. I offer to draw by repetition. You know, interesting fact, a lot of people make fun of me because I have a lot of draws in, like, norm tournaments and stuff. I didn't offer a draw in the entire tournament until the last move of the game, of the last game of the tournament. The last move of the last game of the tournament, the entire tournament, both sections, was me making a move and offering a draw. When I offer my first draw of the tournament ended, you know. I thought that was funny. 11 rounds, 1 draw offer, end of tournament. Bishop and rook versus bishop and rook with no pawns left on the board. Okay, I offered a draw in that position. He was thinking about it. I was like, dude, if you decline a draw here, I don't know what I'm going to do. You know, I'm going to freak out. Like, seriously, okay, if you got the guy's kingpin down on the 7th rank or something, or if he has less than 30 seconds, I can see. But, I mean, it was like 5 minutes to 2 minutes. I could have forced a draw the move before. I thought he would, like, instantly accept it, and he, like, thinks for a minute and a half. I was like, come on, dude. I mean, I'm not talking about draws, I'm talking about offering draws, you know? I don't offer... In round robin tournaments, a lot of times I'll do, like, Grandmaster draws. But, I mean, in open, in a Swiss, you can't... You know, you have to try to win every game. I mean, I know how to do that. I played my share of, like... I think Sumer, is he, like, disconnected? What the hell is going on here? I mean, I enjoy talking, but, man, this is ridiculous. It says he's green. Sumer, you have, like, the standard ready position. What are you doing? This is like he fell asleep drunk under the board. I'm gonna do some analysis for chess lecture starting today of my games. I needed the topic anyway, but we had some interesting games. I mean, that's the beauty of real chess and long games. There's time to think. Rest day. No, I mean Uber driver. This is a standard rate. This is like Reti. I don't know where Sumer is. It's the main line of the Reti, man. Kasparov, Karpov, 1980, 1988. Was it? What was their second match? Was it 86? I guess 86. I can't remember. 86. Kasparov played the Reti with white in some games with like Queen E2. This is like a standard position. No, I mean it goes to D7 or D2, but there are some weird situations where it goes to A6 or A3. I don't know what happened. He's like gone, but he's on 9. We lost our Italian stallion. We lost the Italian challenger. No, there he is. Okay, he's back. Gabi Gabro. Gabi is a very common Hungarian name. Gabor. Gabriel. Hungarian form of Gabriel, I guess. Yeah, so the exciting world of the Petrov. An Uber driver. We got one Petrov. Yes. Alright. Do you guys want to play real chess here? No Gambit garbage? We'll save the Gambit garbage for Wednesdays. The Roy Lopez Open isn't bad. Right. Yeah, this is such a wimpy way for white to play, but there's no way around it. But I have a new idea here. New to me. On the auto mile. New to you. Bought a used car there once. Ernie Bach. So the standard setup here is like, oh, bishop e6. I see. No. This is my new thing. Going here. I'm not gonna, because when I play c6, I weaken the d6 pawn a lot. I'm not gonna do that. This is our new system. Okay, whatever. I had a game like this the other day. Then big deal. You know, we both do like g6 and whatever. I'm perfectly happy to trade queens or not trade queens. Who is this guy anyway? 1400 bullet. But he knows his queen e2. I had the exact same game in a sort of casual game the other day. Somehow I went for the dark square bishop. But how would that happen here? And white did something else. So black's like fully equal, but it's hard to play for a win because it's so equal. But I mean that's essentially the point here. Some animals are more equal than others. Okay. We can copycat with bishop e6. It seems sort of lame. I guess he's going to go queen d2, right? And like unravel. This is ridiculous. It can become completely symmetrical. So like where should I put my bishop? Bishop f5? Bishop e6? We just do bishop e6 like you. So we have total symmetry. This is embarrassing. Yeah, white's playing crazy fast for a guy who's like 1400. I agree. This is a player I never played before, but I mean, it's kind of suspicious. But in general, like, people do play crazy fast. And then I'm like, oh, he played a perfect game until he hung a piece on move 17, you know? They put too much emphasis on playing fast. It's surprising, actually. They'll play, like, perfect for 17 moves and then just play some kind of ridiculous blunder that just loses by force. You're like, how did they play 17 perfect moves and then make a ridiculous blunder? Well, that's a good question. Although h3 looks really kind of pro. Kind of a pro move as well. Maybe we can turn the corner on this. Ruben Fine never said that, dude. That's ridiculous. Serbia plays World Cup ban. Too early in the morning for a World Cup game. Brother. Wow. Huh. Yeah, he does seem... I wouldn't mind if he was like 2,000, but I mean, 28 seconds for the whole game does seem a little bit... Seems a little exaggerated. Always when I get the new players, they're kind of sketchy. You have to earn your trust here. You haven't earned your trust yet. Earned my trust. I don't even know who's in the World Cup at all. I didn't know Serbia was even in the World Cup. I hadn't heard anything about them. You did much better before I realized, yeah, who you are. Never reveal who you are. The myth made you look stronger. Mythic. Well, I mean, I did better once I knew that you weren't a computer, first of all. The minute that I realized I'm sure that someone's not a computer, my play improves. That little crystal of doubt in my mind makes me play, like, afraid to play any kind of tactics. See, now here things get interesting. He essentially played a perfect game to a degree, relatively perfect game. And now he's gonna, like, lose a piece? No. Even that doesn't work. I just have to sort of think about this. Bishop takes. It's not so simple. Not gonna lose a piece. Is he? Wow. I don't even have that. Wow. I don't have anything here. Bishop TC2. Not so clear. Wow. C3. Bishop takes h3, also not 100% clear. I don't know, man. It's a little dodgy. Just calmly playing c3 into every kind of discovery, and there's nothing there for me. You just take the two rooks for the queen. Two rooks for queen and pawn. It looks approximately equal. I don't know, guys. How good is this two rooks? Ambiguous. So he's 1700, 1400 in bullet. Played the whole game in 1 minute without hanging anything. Yeah. You know what? One thing that's kind of weird about this player 1666 in chess 960. That sounds like no big deal, but that's actually not a bad rating for chess 960. That's like probably 1900 blitz. I mean, I'm just guessing this position is approximately equal. Look how quickly he finds this rook a3 move. Well, I mean, what did you want him to play? Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not sold on this player. I honestly think he's a little bit sus. Too fast, you know? He's too fast. What it could be, rather than necessarily a computer, I would wager it's like his friend or something, you know, or there's like more than one player. I don't know. White's playing like he's 2,100 or 2,000 plus. Not necessarily a computer, but not a 1,700 Lichess player. Sorry, that's not. You're too good, too solid. You know, no blunders at all, and really fast at the same time. No, but there's no tactical donuts, man. That's the problem with this guy. He hasn't made any like blunders, and he's used half as much time as me. Look at his. Why would his bullet rating be 1,400, man? I guess he didn't play too many bullet games, but still. Okay, now we're getting. You know, it looks dangerous to play f4. Maybe I shouldn't have played that. That probably didn't do me a lot of good. Like driving his knight back to a solid square. He wants revenge for what? I didn't do anything to Italy. I was well behaved. I only played one Italian player and it was a draw. I was lost in that game. He wasn't very friendly. But he was no reflection on the Italian people, who are generally very friendly, I thought. The host. The masked man. My only opponent who wore the COVID mask was the FM from Italy. I'd say only like 8% of people were like wearing masks. Very few people were ill. Although it's funny, toward the end of the tournament, like more people are coughing and sound like they're sick than in the beginning. Like their immune system is getting systematically kicked down as the tournament progresses. Let's hang a pawn. Yeah, I don't think this is your typical 1700. Just continues to make like brutally solid moves. And stay ahead on the clock at all times. If this guy is like 1700, man, my rating should be like 2100 at best. Juicebox Wizard. back, everybody. We're playing some thoughtful rapid chess here. Very, very tough opponent here that I've never faced before. The first time I've been ahead on the clock. But the most amazing part was like when he allowed that discovery. Like I had every kind of bishop discovery and nothing works. Maybe he's just lucky. DeSantis. And that was funny that you pointed that out, Uber driver. I played this guy named DeSantis, and I didn't even think about the political connotation till you mentioned it. There was some familiarity in the back of my mind, but it just never occurred to me. Wow. Still, he's fighting tooth and nail for some last chances. It's just a 2100 player, I would say. Of course. He's playing to mate. Thank you for the info, man. Thanks for the update. Weekend update with Uber Driver. He's playing to mate me. And he found like the best move there. Probably. Right. But no, the Florida governor is... Wait a minute. The Florida governor is all one word? Is it like changed to be like Americanized? Or is it the classic DE space capital S? I never even pay attention to the guy's name, to be honest. Does he have the same spelling? Yeah, no, it's Americanized. Yeah, I mean, I grew up in New Jersey where half the people, in the state have like DE space capital something as their name. There was like 10 people in my high school class. But they're not usually sanitized like that. That's kind of weird. He's obviously not a New Jerseyan. This guy's fighting to the bitter end. Right. No doubt. Like the guy's name, his family was the same. D.E. Santis Demantis. Mate. I wonder if it's possible to get mated here. Difficult to do. Objectively. That was an epic game. Fighting to the bitter end. My math teacher was an Italian with a DE space capital. I remembered his name the other day. I always reference him because he played like E4, C5, D4, pawn takes pawn, queen takes D4. Mr. And then I forgot his name again. DE something. It's bad when you can't remember your teacher's name. He must have not left a very strong impression. It's funny that it came back to me after like 30 years last week and I forgot again. It took me like 30 years to remember his name and then I forgot it the next week again. It's so sad. Oh God, let it be over. He doesn't resign either. Isn't it kind of weird to be that good and not resign when you're down like a queen? Also, and like plays to the very last move. Wow. There's no mate, no stalemate. Now there's mate in 2. Plays out to the last move, man. Look at this game. I wonder what the evaluation of position is, like when I get a pawn and 2 rooks for the queen there. I think it's probably dead equal. But I thought that his rooks are hard to use. I mean, he has an open file, right? He has the E file. But that's it, you know. One open file. I mean, has anyone ever seen any chess instruction book where this is really discussed? You know, queen versus rooks positions. What's up, world loser? Yeah, I mean, it's totally dependent on the position. It's bullshit to be like, I like the queen better than the 2 rooks, or the 2 rooks better than the queen, you know. Someone asked Hikaru that, I was told, and he said, oh, I always like the queen better than 2 rooks. Yeah, because we're talking about like bullet chess, where it's like easier to like play with the queen. I mean, of course the queen is better to have in like bullet chess, but who cares? I'm talking about like real chess and evaluating based on position. Okay, this is not gonna fly, huh? I'm trying to get the computer to give me an analysis of this game, but apparently it's not cooperating. Does it really take 3 hours to get a quick? Future world champion. I don't know. Maybe I need to refresh the page or something. Yeah. Alright, so just saying, check out this guy. I mean, he lost the game, but 11 accuracies, 2 mistakes, no blunders. 44% upon loss. That's pretty solid for somebody who's 1700. Literally no blunders. Where did he go over the... This was a dubious mistake. And then C3 is a dubious. And now I don't know what to do. Computer wanted me to take here. I went for the A pawn and went for the queenside majority. It's interesting. But I don't know what the computer wants him to play here. Like, is he gonna just drop his B pawn? The computer is like, C3 dubious, queen D1, queen takes B2. Aren't you like losing a pawn there? Queen D1, queen takes B2. Rook B1. I mean, I didn't see this far. But, you know, all I know is that I'm temporarily up a pawn. Maybe he has something on the long diagonal. You know, but it's a pretty good game from somebody who's supposed to be like 1700. Uber driver, I don't think like they get a lot of bids for the World Senior, so, and especially with COVID still kicking around, I'm sure that it's like, not sure. I don't know. This one wasn't well, maybe it is announced. I don't know where next year's tournament is. We should check. I just played Sumer, dude. We already played you. What are you doing? All right, we're not taking the same players every single game. Sumer forfeited after 12 moves. Now he plays another game. But I definitely feel like I'm playing better. This is the best thing for your chess, what I did in the last 2 weeks. If you guys want to get better at chess, do what I did. Play long games for like 10 days in a row, you know. Everyone asks, how can I improve at chess? How do I become a strong player? It's like, there's your answer. Now, it's not easy to do. You need time. You need, money to travel to a tournament. If you're Hans, Niemann, it's like no-brainer, man. Just get mom and dad to pay for you to go to like 20 tournaments during COVID. Now, I don't know if you're using a computer or not. That might make it faster too, but the secret to improving in chess is to play long games in serious tournaments against the strongest opposition. Thinking helps. Bishop e3. Okay. Thinking never hurts. I don't know about PEDs, man. Might be better for like sports, like physical sports. Performance enhancing drugs, mushrooms. Where's Asterbate, speaking of mushrooms? Mr. Coffee is here. Broke it. I broke it? What are you talking about? We had a game like this with Sumer that did not go well for him last time. I can't tell you how excited I am about a World Championship match between Ding and Nepo. Yawn. I'm almost as excited as for like the Meltwater online championship. Or whatever they call that stuff. Yeah, man, I don't know. Magnus just left a huge void if he's not going to... It's a mess, man. Without Magnus, there's no chess. I mean, the World Championship is just a joke without Magnus, it feels like. I had a coffee, but someone put too much sugar in it. Man, I was in Italy, but I had stayed in this cheap hotel where they had like a coffee machine. I had to drink like the coffee machine cappuccinos. It's just not that good. It was nice to go out and get like real coffee though, like at night and stuff. Breakfast coffee was weak though. The coffee machines they just don't have. The coffee machines just don't make a real coffee. I mean those like modern ones with the little like buttons you push for cappuccino or coffee or whatever. I wasn't sure if there's any actual caffeine in that, whatever I was drinking. There wasn't any cafe like really close to my hotel. The hotel wasn't good. I didn't have internet almost at all. I would never stay there again. What do you guys think about this position? This hotel was like offered by the tea is good for your nerves. That's probably true. Well, I definitely don't like to drink too much coffee, or you turn into like Walter Brown. I'm very personally, I'm very susceptible to stimulants. That's why I quit smoking years ago. Not so much that it was like bad for my health, but it made me nervous all the time. Like, why am I making myself like nervous? By like smoking these cigarettes. People claim that like smoking relaxes them and stuff. Oh, I didn't even think of the cheapo meter. I know this looks like kind of materialistic, but this pawn is pretty annoying for white. Now, right, what do I do? Well, I guess I can play knight to c7. This wasn't really the plan, but you gotta ask yourself, do ancient aliens really exist? Does f5 didn't scare you? Well, no, it means because like his e5 is melting down. Of course, f5 scares me in general, but if you take it a step further, f5, then you see, if you think about the center, I'm always focusing on the center. He's having trouble, like, once he plays f5, he's having trouble holding it together on e5, But I'm not, what do you mean later g4? Like, I'm going to take on f5? How's he going to play queen g4 with a pawn on g4? Uber driver. I'm not doing that. I'm definitely, like, never taking... Are you daft, man? I'm obviously never taking on f5. But f6 is protected by like 6 different things, man. He can't just play f6. I'm just gonna take it. You see, even now, like, f5 loses e5. Sumaher has like these like program sort of fetishes. Moving his queen to c2. Not castling. By the way, I made a concerted effort. Now here I might take on e5. This is now for the first time I feel I do feel like threatened. I feel threatened by you. I mean, the h4, h5 is the most dangerous threat he's had in the game thus far. For the first time, I think it's kind of semi-serious. Serious, but not serious. He likes castling queenside, but he's going to come under a very strong counterattack fairly quickly. Although, I might be too slow here. This might be one of his greatest victories. I don't know what's going on, but Maybe knight c6 I should check first on a5. It's a race. I didn't even think about that. Stop giving me hints. Uber driver giving me hints. Oh, wow. Raise your hand if you expected king f2. I don't think we're going to see a lot of people saying, yeah, man, I expected king f2. He's intending on king g2. We got it under control. No, I expected h5 and trying to quick queen h2 me. Which game from the tournament was my favorite? Oh man, I don't know. That's the most satisfying thing about a tournament, where you actually play games that were fun and interesting. Wow. This is the most fun games I've had in a long time. I think because, as I mentioned before you were here, Mr. Coffee, when I first started the stream, I was mentioning that which way do I go here? Which way did he go? It's a tough one. Even pawn takes deserves consideration. Like, seriously. You know, the thing was, I never offered a draw in the entire tournament until the last move of the tournament. Which meant that all my games were fighting games. Which is something that doesn't happen in the round robin tournaments usually. There's always like a few Grandmaster draws, or there's no prizes in those GM tournaments that I play in, or the IM tournaments. They're just like for norms. It's not a real tournament unless there's something to play for, like a prize. So this was completely different feeling, really, to be honest. My main concern here is like defense. I'm already up a pawn. It would be nice to win the d4 pawn world loser, but I want to be careful not to let my guard down somehow. If only he could play like a queen to the h file. I don't really need to win any pawns. I think I'm winning already, you know. I just need to like not let him generate any threats. It's not running away. Yeah, exactly. No, I don't want to let my guard down there. Knight takes d4, rook f3. I think this looks pretty good. Though I probably have better. Here we go with queen again. That knight is not doing anything. Queen for 2 rooks. Would you like queen for 2 rooks? Would you like a cookie? Yeah, good suggestion. Yeah, Mr. Coffee, I don't know. I had a lot of fun games. They're all fun. You know, pretty much all the games were interesting, I have to say. I mean, it wasn't fun like losing in 16 moves against Klaus Bischoff with a double blunder. But the opening was interesting, and the position before I like blundered like an idiot twice was cool. The game I almost lost to Rick DeSantis, well, it would have been a good game was the fact that I just like hung my b3 pawn for no reason whatsoever. But the battle was still interesting after that. So even the games where I lost or almost lost, ended up being very interesting. My win versus WIM, your favorite. That was awesome, man. She tried to make it a legal move. It's so sick. She didn't know she was in check. She was so like messed up and bewildered. I didn't see main in 2. Sorry, guys. We'll try this again. A little stutter step. Yeah, so here the queen is stronger than the 2 rooks. Again. In this particular position. I'm playing better. I mean, I can't explain to you. Not to brag, but... Okay, by the last round, I was playing the best I could play. And Heinrich Danielson like said to me after the game, like, why is your rating so low? I don't really know how to answer that. I guess the best way to answer that, like, comment would be, first of all, I think that players in poorer countries like Hungary, it's rating poverty. You know, I think the players here are lower rated than their Austrian counterparts. If you had like an overall like team match between the top 25 players in Hungary and the top 25 players in, say, Austria, just, you know, a wealthier country versus a more poor country, I think the players in the wealthier country are more overrated. But I think the other thing is I just don't always play my best. You know, I mean, that's what it comes down to. I was playing my best, and when I play my best, I can get close to GM level. But a lot of times, I'm just not, I don't care. I'm like, you know, playing at 10 o'clock in the morning in the Hungarian or Budapest Team Championship, in norm tournaments where I don't have any prize money at stake. Exactly, the old card that needs to get up to speed. But he said to me, why is your rating so low? I felt some real power from you. Yeah, because I was like playing full strength, you know. I've got to be under good conditions. I've got to be playing in good conditions and playing my best. And that's not always the case, unfortunately. So this game, I'm playing better now that I came back after the tournament. If I play tournaments like this, I get stronger. When I play the most I ever played, I played stronger. Alright. EQ. IQ. Well, I mean, I always do that though in like in the rapid tournaments that I host. We'll have to host a tournament tomorrow night, by the way. Yeah, it takes me a while to get warmed up. But if you let me play like 10 to 12, if I play a rapid game or a classical game every day for 5 hours, full time, dude, I'm going to be extremely strong. If you let me just play classical chess from 3 in the afternoon till 8 or 9 p.m. every day, and that's all I do, I'm going to become a freaking monster, you know, and I'll be like GM strength. And give me a day off every week or so. You know, something like six rated games, Monday through Saturday from 3 to 9 p.m., and then a day off, and then another, you know, I'm going to be playing like close to GM level. If you give me optimal conditions. But, you know, I mean, I'll be honest with you guys, not to make excuses, but like last week, before the tournament, I lost 9 rating points to this Hungarian kid. I played a pretty bad game with black at 10 o'clock in the morning, but we played in the goddamn, next to a goddamn playhouse where there were like millions of screaming little kids next door to the playing hall. I mean, it was insane. It was outrageous. I mean, I could barely concentrate, and it was 10 o'clock in the morning. It's like, there's goes, that's the rating points I won from this tournament are already like gone because I lost in a tournament where there was like a nursery school playhouse next door to the tournament hall. It was impossible to concentrate. It's not a serious environment, you know? Playing at like 10 o'clock in the morning with screaming children next door. How do you think I'm going to perform? Like, well, in that situation? And without motivation, too. Like, I didn't even want to play in the Budapest Team Championship. The players are weak. There's no prizes. The team sucks. You know, I don't even know. I'm only doing it as a favor to the guy who's like the organizer of the team. I'm getting paid a really shitty salary. I didn't want to do it, you know, and he like kind of begged me. So there goes like my rating points. Anyway, all right. Can we get a 10, sorry, 7 plus 5? I mean, it sounds like I'm just making excuses, but it's true. You know, give me a quiet playing room and let me play at 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and you're going to see like high 2400 at least. After time, I think my strength would get higher in the 2400s. But at least now, my performance was like 2400, which is normal. I mean, that's the way it should be. ND Raven. Did they tell you about the conditions before you agree to play? You know, with stuff like the tournaments, usually yes. But like with the case with the Budapest Team Championship, like every team hosts the matches in a different place. And this particular place I was actually pretty stoked about because it was very close to where I live. So I was like, oh, this is great. You know, I hate waking up in the morning, but I had no clue it was like next door to this like playground. It's indoor playground where I used to take my kids to birthday parties and stuff when they were little. It's unbelievable. It's like the hall of the Hungarian MTK bridge team or something. And I guess the bridge guys like play at night. So I guess if the bridge guys play at night, they don't give a shit, you know, about the playground next door because it's like that probably like stops at like 6 p.m. or something. Yeah, I'm a spy for the U.S. government. World loser. But don't tell anyone. We'll have to send a hitman to Poland to silence you. Don't ask me what my job is. But spies, they don't hire spies that are over 50, so I'm getting retired at the end of the year. I'm too old to continue to be a spy. I'm becoming a professional chess player again. I'm giving up my spy job. Alright, I have to move first. I forgot. Alright. Right. Yeah, but I didn't know, like, this playing hall was, like, in the freaking kindergarten, you know, next door to a 200 screaming children at 10 o'clock in the morning. I mean, I would be, like, 2200, man. I'm not kidding. Like, if every game I played had to be in that place, playing, like, a strong, young 2100 player, I would probably be lucky to break even. I'm so pissed at the team captain for talking me into playing 5 games for the Budapest team championship. It's a joke. It's a total joke. It's weak. It sucks playing in the morning. I mean, I'm getting paid almost nothing. I don't know. The playing conditions suck. I don't know where to even like begin. And he made me promise him I would play 5 games. There's like 11 rounds. And I've played 2 and lost 2. One in a winning position where I had plenty of time and I tragically blundered by transposing the wrong winning move. And the other one, this one I talked about, where I lost a really tough game, but the conditions were pretty bad. So I've lost already like 15 rating points in 2 games. Yeah, this is an interesting system. The ND Raven, I don't know anything about them, has been popularized lately, although I think, oftentimes black might play for c5. Bishop f4, an interesting idea. I got a little bit off track, talking and complaining about playing conditions. But I mean, I'm just saying, like, if I try to explain to a grandmaster why my rating is like 2340, he's obviously playing in good conditions. I'm not always. But I mean, Danielson, I give him credit. He's like not a full-time chess player now. He said he's like a psychiatric nurse. So that's pretty cool. He's an interesting guy, very nice guy. We had a very nice conversation, both like before and after our game in the last round, the World Senior. What is going on? He's originally from Denmark, but now I can move the pieces. He immigrated to Iceland and then went back to Denmark. So now he has dual citizenship. We had a great game in the last round. It was epic. I think that game was messed up too. The game score wasn't complete, or maybe it just like didn't show the result at the end. That was fun though, man. We were playing like the last game of the whole tournament. A couple of the top boards just drew quickly. Boards 1 and 3 like did grandmaster draws, and Novik beat Mirovic with white, and I was left playing on board 4. Almost no one watched our board 4, but it was an epic battle. Everyone just cared about like the top 3 boards basically, because nobody after board 3 could tie for first. Dude, I was messed up after Queen A6. I mean, I knew it. He was dead. He was dead twice, but both times I was in like horrible Zeitnot. Exactly in the moments when I had a winning position, I was down to like 30 seconds, and I couldn't decide what the heck to do in the critical moment. I was like second guessing. So he escaped twice because of my Zeitnot. And then he was better, and I was almost lost. I was in a very awkward position suddenly. He just had better piece coordination. And my whole advantage was gone. I was pretty pissed at myself, and I thought I was going to lose. And then I sacked the exchange, thinking it was like a fortress. But it wasn't. The live feed cut out, okay. I wasn't even sure a draw would get money, which was one of the reasons why I honestly was kind of like just playing for a win. It wasn't sure that a draw would even like win a prize if a couple things went the wrong way. Like the likely result was what happened, that I would get like a bubble prize. But it could have gone down that I got no prize even though I had 7.5 points if tie breaks had gone bad. Yeah, no, I mean, I was like devastated when he found I could have trapped his queen like out of the game, and that was the critical moment in the first time control. Man, it was so weird. I was sitting there thinking about whether to go for it and try to like squeeze his queen out and just try to win at all cost. And I looked up at him, and I had like 45 seconds on the clock, and I looked up, and he was like looking right in my eyes. I was like, he knows exactly what I'm thinking right now. He kind of challenged me psychologically. Right at that moment, you show confidence by looking in the opponent's eyes when he's trying to make some kind of, critical decision. Now I'm panicking here. I don't like taking on c4 a lot. Next year I bring the... No, it didn't bother me. I actually... he's really correct, but it was like we both had this, like, sudden realization that, like, this was the moment of truth. He didn't, like, stare at me during the game. I hate when people do that. That's just not polite. It's bad form. I wouldn't do that unless I really disliked someone. Generally, it's just rude to make eye contact. But, I mean, once in a while, it might just happen, and that's what... It just happened. I just happened to look up, and he just happened to be looking at me. And it was like... We were, like, mentally, telepathically communicating with each other. It was like, dude, you either go for it or don't go for it now. We both knew it was, like, the moment of truth. And I was like, man, I looked at the clock, and I had 30 seconds, and if I make this, like, move f4... where I try to push his queen out of play permanently, it drastically weakens my king side. So it's like I might be going all in here if I make this move, and with very little time, I decided to just play it safe. I thought, okay, if I play it safe, I have no risk, and I'm a little bit better. I have an outside pass pawn and a bishop versus a knight. But almost immediately, I like misplayed the position because it was like move 38. When I didn't play the aggressive move, and then move 39, move 40, I had like no time at all. So I ended up making like bad moves right there. And that's how I became worse. I left myself with no time. I should have been fine. But I spent all my time debating whether to go for it, and then left myself with no time to like make move 39, move 40. I let his queen swing over to the other side. It was back in play, and all of his pieces were coordinated. Even though I had outside pawn and a better minor piece, theoretically, his coordination was just better. The end was just insane. I was down the exchange and like 2 pawns at one point. I figured I was gonna lose. What can you do? Speaking of outside pawns, this is an interesting game. These type of things with like the minority attack are very subtle. There's a general idea that, I don't know how to put this, but like the minority attack structure, like this is always good for white. But I think in reality, like the situation is far more complex. Not every, successful minority attack automatically gives white like a huge advantage or something. This pawn on d5, it's pretty solid. I don't like his pawn on a6 though. I was thinking about it. Next year you go all in against the FMs, the early rounds. Well, I mean, it's not like I wasn't... I mean, I blundered. Like, I made the worst blunder of the tournament against one of the FMs, where I just, like, hung my whole position in one move. I was slightly better, I thought. It was a standard position, kind of. And the other one, that I drew. I mean, I honestly got kind of surprised with the Trompowsky. I realized I have the same problem with Trompowsky that I have with the Rossolimo against e4 when I'm playing black in the Sicilian. I have only one primary variation against the Rossolimo, and I have only one primary variation against the Trompowsky. And although those variations are okay, the problem is that I'm too predictable. I'm like, everybody knows what I play against the Rossolimo and the Trompowsky, so they can just like play it and prepare. No, it wasn't DeSantis who played the Tromp. That was the other guy, Francesco. Yeah, look at that bishop b5. Yeah, but I mean, now we're nearing like Sammy Reshevsky. Larry Evans, chess life type of IQP position. I remember in the 80s there was some kind of, maybe it was Evans who did like a Grandmaster Larry Evans who did an article on IQP, kind of standard IQP positions. And he's got these two weaknesses. But I mean, I think you gotta play not to allow too many exchanges. Such situations. Trumping the Tromp. With DeSantis. No. Now I figure like a far right chess stream would probably, bring in some good money. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't even pretend to be a far right partisan. It would just hurt too much. How about that World Cup? Alright, I'm messing this up now. Playing with fire. Damn. I let his knight get to c4. Yeah, unfortunately, knight b7 is... Let's check this out. Does it work? Hold on a second here. Knight b7? Can that possibly work? I have a bad feeling about this. Knight b7, queen b4, queen d5. Well, one way to find out. No, I was going to play queen f5 last move, and then I thought of queen b5 instead. But it's not like black is automatically lost because he has an IQP. He's got to defend actively, which is what he's doing with knight c4. This is nice and active. I'm on the verge of like losing a piece here if I'm not careful. Can I take that pawn on d5? That's the question. And how strong is his outside a pawn? think we're okay, right? I mean, the point is, like, he doesn't have rook d8 to drop me off the diagonal. So he's down to his last a pawn, essentially. It's a weird move. I wanted to play queen b5, but he has knight d5 threatening to fork me with knight c3. I wasn't sure I could get his a pawn. No, I don't think so, Driver. I don't know, man. You're being impatient. If you want to play like rook takes b6 there, aren't you? Let's see. I gotta go in like 30 minutes, so we'll play like maybe 2 more games. Let's see if he was doing all right at some point. Yeah. Yeah. After queen b5, in fact, I lost my edge. This was a mistake. And prior to that, black was okay. Oh, when he got the knight to c4 in the first place, right? Yeah, no, I mean, of course. His knight was here. Why did he pull it out? He achieved knight c4. He had knight b2, right? Maybe it wasn't so great. Yeah, I don't know. This happened in a game in 2017. Spike won with black with b5. Classic. White has to consider a5 here, you know. Hard to believe like white can lose after that. Yeah, I mean the guy played queen b3. He's like begging, please Spike, play knight b6, knight c4. But it doesn't seem like white can possibly lose after a5. Dr. Mr. Martinstein? Oh, 3-2. No. Much too fast, sir. Sire. Alright. We're playing... But I think like you were active enough, you know. This is the secret. It's anytime you isolated pawn, you've got to play like hyper dynamically. Never ever, well, you know, only in last resort do you ever defend in a IQP position with a passive method of defense, right? All right, we'll do the dumb gambit. This is the Jabava defense. I can't resist. The first game, man, I got queen e2 in the Petrov. I'm sorry, but we gotta stop that. You guys are not allowed to do the London system, or queen e2 Petrovs are banned. This reminds me of a, like, obviously it's very similar to the Scandinavian or Icelandic type of gambit. The Icelandic gambit, sorry. The Scandinavian is different. That's like when you do c6 in the Karo Khan. not sure I've encountered immediate h3 before. Is there any... There's no sense in exchanging. So the question is, what do? I play bishop h5? Or do I play queen h5? And on castles, sacrifice on h3? Is that even remotely sound? Interesting question. No, that's not good for white. There's also queen h5, castles, bishop d6 takes, knight takes g4. That can't work. I guess I should just play bishop h5. But that's the problem, like, where does my queen go now? I'm going to invest some time here thinking a little bit. No, if I exchange, I lose my late square bishop, and I don't have any compensation for it. I can't do that. Not an option. Okay, queen h5, castles, bishop takes h3, pawn takes h3, queen takes h3, knight to g5, and then something like queen h4. Do I have enough there? Well, we're going to find out. This is probably unsound. Yeah, I mean, I remember similar Scandinavians that just totally don't work for black. Like this. But we are getting closer. Bishop b4 check? No. Here? Strengthen my attack in the case of... Now he loses a piece. Played perfectly. Till that error. You think he has h4 in that position? Really? We had a similar position 2 weeks ago. Guys, be the first to gift a sub this week. Do want to thank those of you who have subscribed. We also have some follows, new follows from King of Slime, ND Raven, Devil's Halo 666. I'm just kidding. King of all time, not King of Slime. That's Uber Driver. The what? The hackometer. Well, I mean, I was interested what happens if he takes right away. You know, I'm thinking like bishop h5 is already a mistake. What's going on here? No games. So, what's up with that? It's unbelievable. There's no games with h3. Although these are... I'm actually not sure if these are correspondence games. I guess so. I think they're correspondence games. Yeah. No one had the balls to play this stuff in OTB, except for Jababa. But, it's funny that no one played h3. What do I do here? It's a very important move, obviously. Might even be White's best move. The computer claims d4 and h3 with just a brief look at the position. c3 is really strange. So d4, yeah, castle's played twice. That might be a mistake. Yeah, but h3 is very logical, and it's not clear what I should do. So I have to play bishop h5. It transposes 2 weeks ago? Are you sure it was the same line? Yeah, I should play bishop h5, okay. My problem is, like, where do I go after this, you know? What am I going to do? Put my queen on a5 now? This is my issue. Like, I don't have a good place to put my queen. There's no queen f5. This looks, like, weird over here now. I gotta refresh the page or my stockfish won't work. Queen a5, queen d7. Queen d7. Queen d7 keeps coming up. Maybe this is the answer. Of course black is a pawn down, I know that. I wouldn't play this in a serious game. Maybe rapid on maximum. But yeah, that's weird. So that's why I tried this. D3 was a little passive. Now he has knight g5. Uh-huh. Okay, it's an endgame, a pawn down. Jababa said it's okay. I don't know about Jamama, Uber driver, but Jababa said it's okay. So I should castle queenside first. That's more accurate. Wow. I would have assumed the opposite, that bishop d6 is more useful. But it likes, like, bishop c5. It's keeping bishop c5 in reserve. Yeah, knight e4 is a known trick. That's a different position. So I expected him to castle. He had knight g1 or knight g5. Now my attack's probably pretty strong. I mean, if he castles, bishop takes h3. This is not a joke. With the bishop on d6 now. There's your knight e4, but it's too late. Yeah, last week's game was similar to this. So he could take here. You suggest this? No, this doesn't work. So Uber driver is wrong. You want to try it here? Yeah, no, his best moves should be e3. Yeah, we get something similar to some other games that we had along the same lines, like this. Compensation to some degree, but, you know, a dubious variation. Dubious but fun. Alright, last game for today. Then I gotta go get myself collected for the rest of the week. I've got a lot of work to do to catch up. A lot of stuff going on here. But anyway, no Asterbait today. No London. Nah. No Bishop F4. No. That's banned here. Dude, it's banned. Sorry, sir. You're not allowed to play the London. He was scared in my last game. He's still recovering. But I thought I thought that the stream dropped. I mean, I thought the coverage dropped. When did the coverage of my last game drop out? By the way, like what point? And did it ever come back? It just completely went out? Oh, after Queen A6. Yeah, I guess all the organizers like went to dinner or something. They were like, we don't give a shit about like the last game of the tournament. Who cares? Yeah, there were maybe like 10 games ongoing through our second time, after the first time control. But then slowly they were like dropping off, and finally it was just me and Danielson. And like one arbiter in the room. Uber driver, we know that you watch Eric Rosen, but it's not real chess. Or you got it from the St. Louis chess, yeah. You gotta stop watching those, like, superficial streamers with cheap ideas. Oh, there's something very similar suggested by Eric Rosen, H5, it's like absurd. Alright. Popular, any kind of video you make about the London system, sire, will be very trendy. The important thing is to get a lot of views on your YouTube channel and make sure that you get lots of mindless zombies following you. No, you know what Angelo Young did against Danielson in round 10? It's all awful. He actually got a good position. He was winning, Angelo decided to play like d4, knight f6, bishop f4, knight h5 against Henrik Danielson in round 10. I can't believe these grandmasters are playing the London. Like Prié did it like every round. It's so disgusting. It shows like zero creativity. And I think it's also like stupid from a practical sense, because everyone plays the London. You're like 5 or 10 years too late, man, Angelo played that. It's like knight a5 against the Rosslimo. It actually makes kind of more sense, I guess, than that, because at least with knight h5 you're attacking the bishop. In the knight a5 Rosslimo, you're just like sticking your knight on the side of the board. You're not even attacking anything, you're just like putting it out there. No, I could never beat Eric Rosen. No chance. Happy Cactus has returned. I have nothing against Eric. It's just that I don't like his videos about, stupid ideas like h5 against the London. He's, but he's in it for the views. Alright. I try not to, like, promote, like, really cheap ideas. Although, I have a few of my own. My cheap ideas are a little bit better than other people's cheap ideas. No, I borrowed Jababa's, D5 Gambit. D5 Gambit and the Petrov. Man, it's not easy to make the Petrov fun. I just played in the World Senior Championship, and I have like an even score against like grandmasters. But I don't think against Eric Rosen I would have much of a chance. I'm just kidding. I don't know, man. I can play some good chess. I have real power. Now rook c1. Yeah, logical. I do like think about playing knight h5 at this point. This is my last game, guys. I gotta go to work. Bro Loser's like, what's your job? I was impressed when Danielson said he's got a full-time job now. But in a way it's kind of sad. But in a way it's not. It's cool that he has interests outside of chess. To be a grandmaster and have a career outside of chess as well is impressive. Most people are just, one track mind. Yes, Queen E8. Yes, Uber driver, you are correct. I usually use that more. I use it more against. There's also the foigle. You could just do E6 and Queen E7. I did that against Esserman. I learned this from Igor. You don't have to do Queen E8. You could just play E6 and Queen E7. It basically boils down to the same thing. You end up playing Queen E7 later anyway. So just play E6 and you stutter step. E6, Queen E7, and then E5. Because later you just do Queen E8, E5, and Queen E7. So it really doesn't matter. I remember Igor Foigle at the New York Open in like 1995. He beat Max Lugi in drag when he was playing under the name of Angelina Belakovskaya. Foigle just like crushed her in the last round. I think she must have played the London system. And Igor just did this thing with Queen E7, E6 and Queen E7. I had never seen anyone do that before. Honestly, I think it's more common to play Queen E8 against the Tory attack than against the London. Because in the Tory attack, the bishop's on G5, so you're pinned, In the London, I'm not pinned. I don't have to put my queen on E8. The point is to play for E5. So this is sort of the same difference here. I like Foigle's idea. Yeah, I don't know if that's good. I hope Igor is alright. I haven't heard anything about him in a long time. He's getting up there. But he's a good guy. Great player. I think he deserved to be a grandmaster. He's a guy who, if you dropped him in the World Senior from age 50, he might have been able to take it down. There was no World Senior until, 30 years now, 92. So I think if Igor had played in every World Senior, he would have taken one down. Almost certainly. If you put him in there in like 1993, I don't know, man. No, he was way better than, Curdo and Razin. But I mean, I don't know, if you talk about like Curdo in his prime, that's a little bit of a different story. Curdo was older, so, I feel like there's a difference between, prime Curdo and a little bit later Curdo. I think Igor was a stronger player in general, but not by a lot. Curdo wasn't bad. Razin was like a weaker version of... Jacob's a great player too, but not as strong as Foigle. Foigle was legit, like, GM strength. You can't say that about the other guys. They're just not. IM strength. Like, Razin and Curdo could be IMs, but Foigle could have been a GM. So... Talking about New England, old New England chess players. Once I insulted Jacob. He was insulted. I said he played weird openings or something. He would always play the Dutch and the Alekhine. But he had other openings. He could play more solidly. I got paired with this guy Boulard from France, who was actually like the French correspondence champion in 1994. Even the 2100 untitled player I played was a strong player. I mean, he was 2300 when he played Boris Spassky in 1994 in Paris and played the King's Gambit against Spassky. I think that's pretty freaking impressive, man. This guy is not just some ordinary 2100. He was French correspondence champion and he played the King's Gambit against Spassky. And he's not a FIDE master. I mean, give me a break. First of all, his rating went over 2300. That's one of the lower rated players I played. That guy was extremely strong. I was lucky to win. Is it a good idea to play the King's Gambit against Spassky? Apparently not. But I also think it's probably never a good idea to play the King or the Alekhine's defense. The Dutch is really on the borderline. I mean, if that's your repertoire, King's Gambit, Dutch, and Alekhine's defense, you're definitely not playing for draws. Romantic. But I enjoyed this tournament. It was fun, man. I got 11 good games. Got my rating points back from the playground game where I lost like 8.5 rating points in one go. So I should be able to maintain my current rating. Yes. Rocking at 2343. But we just need more good tournaments. And no kids. And the takeaway is I like playing adults in the afternoon. Not like kids in the morning. Man, it was refreshing to not have to play little kids. Seriously. That's like the best thing about this World Senior. It's not just that I hate the little kids. Because I don't. I hate their parents. That's why I don't teach little kids. For the most part. Their parents are really annoying. I hate that the parents bringing 6 juice boxes and 3 candy bars to the board while you're trying to play serious chess there. This is not, sorry, not cool. This is the London. This is a London system bishop on h2. Yeah, I was the baby of this tournament. I'll never play another tournament where I'm the youngest player until I make it to 65, till 64. Then I can do it all over again in the 65. I'll be the youngest player in the 65 World Championship in 15 years. That'll be the last chance I'll ever get to be the youngest player in a tournament, probably. Yeah, I kept telling everybody. They probably got tired of hearing that I was the youngest player in the tournament. I just found it amusing. And unique. Then the epic moment of all King's Indians is like, do you push or take? Every King's Indian player's biggest. This reminds me of the Dutch a little bit. Every King's Indian player's defining decision, you know. Generally speaking, I think keeping the tension. Well, actually, his h2 bishop's not bad after he like trades it on f4, but he'll have other problems. Getting like stampeded on the f file. Yeah, this was a good game. This for me, this was a classic. Goodbye to the London system. And that's why you don't play the London system. Because it sucks. Yeah, I gotta go, guys. Yeah, Uber. I would just take with the knight, man. His king side is destroyed. It doesn't even matter, you know. I don't want to give him e5. Like, he might have some kind of King's Indian-ish e5. So if you take here and I take this way, there's a small chance this will happen. You know, opening up here, you have to calculate it. But I mean, from my perspective, I think, like, you know, that's possible. But this looks like he's destroyed. You know, his king side is destroyed. I mean, there's no way he should be able to survive here after this. Just like strategically, he's lost. You know, he's backward along the f file and has no compensation, and he's messed up the queen side with the b3 and no b3. I made one inaccuracy, apparently. g6 dubious. Yeah, right. It's probably like the best move in this position. I mean, I wouldn't say like c5 and e6 are bad, but I think g6 is best. My only dubious move was the best, according to me. Anyway, guys, thanks for playing. I'll be back tomorrow, Tuesday. We're going to be hosting our Welcome Back Rapid Tournament. We'll do something like, you know, the longer games, maybe 10 plus 5. Maybe 5 or 6 rounds of longer rapid chess tomorrow night. So join us. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Thank you, Mr. Coffee, for your kind support during the tournament, all of you. And I'm going to try to update the games in the study that weren't completed, but it's kind of shaky because I might have to wait for the PGN from the organizers or try to read my own handwriting, which is even worse. So we'll see if I can piece together some of those games that didn't, the last 2 rounds that didn't get uploaded all the way. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow night. Bye-bye.